Federal government agrees to pay salaries of private school teachers. The president of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, Yomi Otubela, says the federal government has agreed to pay the salaries of private school teachers that are being owed by their school management since the lockdown started in March. A number of private school teachers have come out to cry for help as they've not been paid by their management since the pandemic lockdown started when schools were shut down. Now, the school management insists they cannot pay salaries since they have also not made money by way of school fees. Speaking on a television interview yesterday morning, Otubela said the association forwarded a proposal to the Economic Sustainability Committee headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for the government to pay the salaries of the private school owners, and that an approval has been granted to the proposal by the Federal Executive Council. They also requested for a single-digit loan for private schools to cushion the effect of the COVID-19. Talks are already ongoing to know the modalities for the disbursement. However, only private schools that are registered under this association will benefit from the federal government's bailout. So if you run a private school and you are not registered with the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, that's the umbrella body, okay, then I'm sorry, this disbursement might not just get to you. Okay, so, is this good news or
first and foremost, I don't want to go whether it is good news or not. But I just think that we keep doing the wrong things always. It is not the responsibility of government to pay private school owners, staffs, because if you're doing that, there are other people down the ladder who are also suffering. Businesses are closing up. What is the government doing to alleviate it? And then now the question I want to ask: when the government takes over this payment of these salaries, when the schools open, are the owners of these schools going to reduce school fees? The schools should have what I call a backup plan. They've been collecting school fees all this while. How come they don't have savings from which they can dip their hands to pay? We keep doing the wrong thing. And it's been done because I know that, yes, some people in government have private schools. And that's why I've always been agitating that we must bring back the life in our public schools. Public schools ordinarily should compete favorably with private schools. We have public schools. Some don't even have chairs. Students have their chairs to sit down. They don't have writing materials. There are no computers in those schools. Government is not doing anything about it. So why should government be bothered about paying salaries?
Can I come in a bit? I get everything you're saying, but while we're staying within the context of this story, for a while now, teachers, particularly those in private school, have been, crying there's no money because schools have been shut, blah, 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 blah. And I think that is why there's so much pressure on the government to open up the schools, because people want to begin to earn an income. Okay, so the government is, hold on. Now the government is saying we will pay. What is still the problem with that now?
On what basis?
What is the problem?
On what basis are they paying?
On what basis?
Yes, the money they want to appropriate is part of my money. So it's a commonwealth. You can't just appropriate it to anybody you want. There must be a national discourse if you want to pay. Then we put all these other sectors. Other sectors, yes, other sectors. I am a private.
I am also a taxpayer. Since when has there been a public discourse?
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what's supposed to be done. This is what's supposed to be done. What must be done?
But you're asking the wrong person.
No. I'm already telling the problem. The problem is that there's a misplaced priority in this country.
In this regard.
In this regard, yes. I am an employer. Private, I have staff that I'm paying. So what happens? So if all the employers that are private now cry to federal government, you just give them money. You see, the problem we have that the citizens are so ignorant to know their right. No government should appropriate your money to any private individual without hearing
at will.
At will. Okay. That is at will. That to me is a dictatorship. How can you just wake up and say, because what they will have done, which was done in other same countries, what I call same country, but they can give them loans, soft loans, those loans could be 1-digit interest rate.
Paid over a period of 20
years. So that will cushion up the effect of the. It is not just that. This is what they are doing. Is dashing.
They are dashing the money.
For what? For Christ's sake, in this country,
people
are suffering. As I was coming here, I saw a lot of people carrying granite. Even as rain, as sun is beating them. Are they not Nigerians? Is it because you're a teacher?
It doesn't. No, Doctor. My own question is that this is a private run business.
Okay.
That is where I'm coming from. It's privately owned business.
Even though it's a school,
because they collect, parents pay school fees. Now every business must have savings for rainy days. So why is it that some of these owners of these private schools are not ready to dip their hands in their purse?
And one thing you have to know, in every venture you have to embark on, you have what we call feasibility studies. And that feasibility study runs 10-20 years projection. And that
covers any eventuality.
Okay. So you say, I don't know what kind of country are we running. It's annoying.
It's very
annoying.
So
what you are talking now, let me tell you, another sector will come up one day and meet the president and say, look, we are dying too. Then what happened about the tomato seller? The money we are proposing, the tomato seller you see on the street, he is part of the Commonwealth. It's part of his money. It's a Nigerian money. It's not government money. People are really misinterpreting it. Any money that the government disburses is your money and my money. And that is why they have been doing this to us, because they know that we are so ignorant that we can ask questions.
Okay. The problem is that we're faced with a situation where governance is not about accountability, it's not about transparency, and it's not about giving good governance to the people. Until the Nigerian people realize that sovereignty belongs to them, this whole thing will continue to take place.
Okay, what we're still discussing is the issue of federal government agreeing to pay salaries of private school teachers.